We have our first injury. Let's see it. Oh yeah, busted knuckle. Alright guys, welcome back to our next video. We are going to show you how to replace the oil pan gasket and the oil pump. We're working our way through this motor, replacing all the gaskets, and so this video, we're going to keep on moving. Alright, obviously the first thing you got to do is get this old gasket out of there. So you start by taking the oil pan off. There are 22 bolts, 11 on each side. So we're going to clean up a little bit, and then we're going to remove the oil pan. Alright, once we get the oil pan off, the next step is to clean all of the old gasket off of the oil pan. You can use a razor blade or a scraper. You just got to be careful not to damage the pan or the bottom of the block. Good. We took it outside and cleaned it really good with some purple power, pressure washed it. Then we sanded it down and painted it with some engine enamel. All right, I got the oil pan cleaned up. It's got a couple dents in it I'm going to try to bang out. All right, so there's one bolt right here, and then there's a bolt up underneath, right over here. And we'll tell you what size that is in just a minute. And then it should drop right out. We have our first injury. Let's see it. Oh yeah, busted knuckle. Jetson's pulling off this, I guess it's the oil line over here. What size was that, 18?
19.
A 19. And what'd you hit your knuckle on? The oh, with the journal for the crank. Oh. All right, we got some oil dripping. Let me get a there you go. Pick up our towel. All right, I got Jetson a Band-Aid. Was it the Hello Kitty one or the Dora the Explorer?
I couldn't decide, so we did Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo.
Okay, so you got the gloves on. Taking that top bolt off now. Now be careful, that'll drop right out on your face. So we got the old oil pump out, and you can see there's like a, I don't know how to say it other than like a flat screwdriver blade in there, and that turns the pump. So you got to line the pump up with that. Jetson's getting a little bit of oil to put on the shaft of the new oil pump so it'll slide in. Just put a little bit, Jetson, doesn't take much. Then we'll slide it up in there. There are, don't be sure not to lose, there's two brass washers on both sides of this oil line right here. Put it up in there, yeah, and kind of wiggle it. Get it go? Yeah, it's got to go all the way up in there. Is it all the way up in there?
No. It's almost.
Alright. Hold on. Alright, we lined up that blade in there, and we were hitting this rod journal right here, this crank journal. So we had to actually turn it. We put this in at turned clockwise, and then once we got it up in there, we lined it up. So now it's lined up, but you got to make sure this crank journal is out of the way to get it up in there. I'm looking at the cam in there, and it's not worn bad at all. The bottom of the pistons look very clean. This journal looks clean. That's all good news. All right, before I tighten that down, actually I want to get this bolt on. So this oil line, there are two brass washers on here. So you get one.
Wait, how are we going to make sure that hole's in line?
It doesn't have to be in line. There's a groove inside of this fitting that it'll, or no matter where it lines up, it'll be there. It'll be okay. But you just got to make sure you get both of those brass washers on there. All right. What are you filming?
Oh. You can cut that part out.
All right, where's the socket that you used for this?
I'll stop.
Once we got the new oil pump installed, we put a new gasket on the oil pan, some silicone, and put it back on the block. It helps to have somebody underneath kind of holding it as we installed it, and then we went around and slowly started each bolt until we got it in, and then we went around and snugged them all up and then set them to the right torque specification. All right, so thanks again to Spectre Off-Road for these new motor mounts and all the hardware. That's right. Look at how beautiful. We got new bushings on both sides in the back here. We got new motor mounts up front, all new hardware. One thing we got to remind ourselves to do, Judson, is before we drive this thing, we got to go back and check every nut and bolt, make sure we got everything tightened up. I'm sure we did these motor mounts, but it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to just touch them up one more time and make sure everything's good and tight. Thanks again for watching our videos, guys. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Comment down below. Let us know what you think. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any videos in the future. We'll try to put one out once a week. Thanks again for watching.